Hello, everyone, and welcome to this series of Experience AI. We're going to delve into the exciting world of artificial intelligence. We're going to look at what is AI and what is machine learning. We're going to experience a variety of real world AI applications and hopefully make you aware of this very exciting sort of area, as well as considering some of the social and ethical impacts of AI developments. And then by the end of this unit, we're going to delve deeper into and explore machine learning models and engines. And hopefully by the end, we're going to make our own machine learning model. And we're going to do this through a practical activity over the series of these lessons. Okay, so first lesson we're going to talk about is what is AI? The starter task for this lesson is what is intelligence? So if you could just pause the video here and talk to the person beside you and discuss what you think is intelligence. Okay, so hopefully you've had a few minutes to think about that, and we get some ideas from everybody in the room. And what do you think the word intelligence means? There's lots of different answers for this. Is, for example, a plant intelligent when it grows towards the sunlight to stay alive? Or animals intelligent? Obviously, we think of human beings as being intelligent, but there's lots of different reasons why we would say something is intelligent or not intelligent, as the case may be. Okay, so in general, there's again not a wrong or right answer for this one. Uh, we commonly describe intelligence as the ability to learn and adapt and then to react to new situations. Okay, so that's how we determine intelligence. Okay, so what will we learn today? We'll describe the difference between what is data driven and rule based approaches to the application development. We'll name some examples of AI applications and we'll outline some of the benefits and issues of using AI applications. And we'll delve into some practical tasks as well during this lesson. Okay. So, is this piece of paper intelligent? I'll need two volunteers to come up to the front of the room if you're in a classroom, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can do this with the person beside you, and you just need the piece of paper that you should find attached to today's lesson. So the intelligent piece of paper has never lost a game of knots and crosses, or Xeoses, as I would have called it. So you need two volunteers, one to play as on behalf of the human, and one to follow the instructions exactly on the piece of paper. That's what you should be looking to do. So this is the instructions on the right here. The piece of paper should be attached as well, and you follow those instructions exactly. I'm going to give you 5 minutes or so to do that. Again, you can just pause the video here and have a go at this activity, this game, and see if you are smarter than a piece of paper. Okay, so if you've done that, what makes this piece of paper intelligent? Is it intelligent? Did it win the game or did it draw the game? Did you manage to beat it? Uh, does having these instructions mean that if it wins the game, does it mean that it's intelligent? If it can beat you at something, does that make it smarter than you? And of course, the answer to that is actually no, because the piece of paper can't adapt. If you change something or you don't, go by its rules, it can't adapt and try to beat you another way. It only follows a set of rules. And if you're clever enough, you'll realize that it uses if then rules, which is what we use in programming to adapt to different situations and to help us make decisions when it comes to programming tasks. Okay, so you should have had a go at that activity. So, what is meant by artificial intelligence? Okay, so I want you to open up the worksheet on your computer, and write down what you think by what is meant by artificial intelligence. And it's just your own idea. You just write what you think, what it means now. Don't talk to anybody about it now. Just write down what you think it is, and we'll come back to this at the end and see if you still agree with your original decision. Okay. So this is what it should look like, the worksheet. So write in your own words what you think is meant by artificial intelligence, and well, how and in the space below. Okay. So we're going to watch a quick video on what is artificial intelligence, and we're going to talk to some experts. So I'm going to let you watch the video, and then we'll come back, and you'll be able to see. We'll have a bit of discussion about that as well.
What is artificial intelligence?
Like a robot that thinks and controls itself?
Is it like smart speakers and chatbots?
I've heard of AI like making art and, controlling the enemies in video games.
Really powerful supercomputers that are going to steal our jobs?
Like the algorithms that control what we see on social media.
Everyone has different ideas about what AI means, but it's also not a futuristic sci-fi concept. You might have heard about self-driving cars, art competitions, or video games involving AI. So what's the reality? Is artificial intelligence going to take over the world, or is it just a buzzword for a fancy algorithm? To find out, I've come to London to speak to the people that create and research artificial intelligence systems here at DeepMind. DeepMind is a team of scientists, engineers, and more with the goal of advancing science and benefiting humanity using AI.
Oftentimes hear these kinds of even apocalyptic scenarios of AI is coming to replace humans.
I don't think AI is very well represented in movies, I'll put it this way.
One example is whenever I go home, my dad asks if we're going to invent like Skynet or Terminator.
I think they assume it's a system that's a lot more intelligent than it actually is.
I've heard that you go away from your desk and you come back 30 minutes later and the machine's doing things you couldn't believe. It's working so well. I've never had that happen, so it doesn't yet feel like a collaboration between me and a machine where we're cooperatively working. It feels like me aggressively forcing the machine to do things until it works.
But I think it's very dangerous to start saying we can assign human emotions and motivations to a model. Say, oh, this model is funny or kind or distrustful.
But AI isn't robots that destroy humanity. It's a powerful technology that we can use to help people and build really useful things.
AI to me is a field of computer science that relies on data in order to problem solve.
AI, I guess, is a constantly evolving field. Yeah, it's important to recognize that it's not maybe one static thing.
It is not embodied intelligence. It is an idea and a goal.
Artificial intelligence is a really powerful tool if used properly, but it is exactly that. It is just a tool. It is something that will help humans augment their capabilities, automate away the parts of their work that might be too boring or tedious for them, and basically leave more time to do the really creative and interesting parts of what your job is all about.
So artificial intelligence isn't about creating thinking robots that are going to take over the world. AI is a set of tools and techniques that we can all use to help solve complex problems using computers.
Okay, quite a lot of good information there, actually. I thought that was really, really quite cool. So yeah, it talked about, what is AI, and it's not, as they said, something that's going to, rise up and take over the world. Again, it's a tool that we can use as human beings to help to make those things. I really like that. He said those boring things in life and hopefully help with those things, and augment, which means to empower you and to make you better than what you had before. A lot like whenever the calculator came into schools, we didn't get rid of maths. We're not going to get rid of computer science because AI is going to take over the world. It's not going to happen. It's just going to help us to get better and improve those skills in the future. So there is two types of ways to solve problems using AI. There's the rule-based one. So that was one we talked about when we did that little activity where we talked about we played noughts and crosses or XEOs, and we followed a set of rules, and the game was then able to defeat the player. And you might have had this in a computer game you played, where you have to try and get through a level, and the AI of the game is trying to stop you. And they can appear quite clever, but at the end of the day, it's just following a set of rules, and just trying to make sure you don't win, basically. But that's just a set of rules, okay? Then we have things called data-driven AI to solve problems, where we use vast quantities of AI of data to train a model, and we're going to show you how that works in a bit as well, and train the model to come up with a solution to something. Okay, so we've got some ideas here. This one has like some spreadsheet data. This has some documents here. I'll have some images. So you might have come across some of these already, where you might have used some data ones. For example, ChatGPT was trained on lots and lots of different text, and now when you ask it questions, it sounds intelligent. It behaves like it's intelligent, but it's not. It's just literally at the very basic level. It's just trying to predict the next word that would come after these series of words based on all the data it's been trained on. And the same with images. The way it worked with images was they trained computer models on this is what a cat looks like, this is what a mountain looks like, and then we just kept training the model till eventually we could do it the other way. We could say, okay, make me a mountain with some snow on the top. And because it had been trained so much on the images that it knew, it could do the opposite. It could make the image based on all the data it was trained on. Okay. So what is a model? It's a representation of real-world context. A data-driven model is used to solve the problem. Usually they rely on massive amounts of examples, lots of data to detect patterns to create the representation. Okay, so it needs lots and lots of data. So example, an AI chatbot uses vast amounts of data to create a conversational model, and an application can use this model to hold a conversation. So when you're talking to a chatbot, it sounds intelligent just because it's got such a vast quantity of data that it was trained on. So therefore, it's very good at predicting what the word should be that we should write, or the next thing it should say, just based on the fact that it's got so much data in there. So chess is a complex two-player strategy board game. If you want to create an AI model to play a chess game, what would you need? What would it need? So you can pause the video here for a second and think about it. So what would you need to be able to get a computer to play a chess game? And I know there's quite a few people that play chess in school as well. So what do you think? Okay, so of course, if you said lots and lots of data, you were correct. So it needs to know all the moves that the game can make. It also needs to know what are the counter moves, and it needs lots and lots of what we call an AI experience. So what do you want the model to be able to do? For each turn, choose which piece to play and where to move it to have the highest chance of winning. So what data would you need to create for the model? Where each piece has been placed in previous games, whether these combinations of moves results in a win, loss, or draw. So basically this is a simulation of all the different moves and whether this move made the game win, lose, or draw, and the computer can then learn and predict if you make this move, then I'm going to make this move back, and so on and so on and so on. So this happened 1996. There was a breakthrough. It was an important year for AI and a system called Deep Blue. I remember this. That's how old I am. Famously beat one of the world's best chess players. I know Mr. McLaughlin is a fantastic chess player as well. So I wonder if he pit his skills against this AI in 1986. Would he win? But this is one of those cases where it got trained on lots and lots of data, and then it was able to basically work out every single move that the chess master could make, and then make a counter move to make sure it was able to win. So why is data-driven approach beneficial in creating an application to win a game of chess? There are more variations of chess game than there are atoms in the observable universe. So basically, being able to work out every single move on the chessboard would take way too much time. You would never be able to do it, as there are atoms in the observable universe. So basically, it got good at predicting the next move, the next best move, based on all the data it was trained on. And this was difficult to achieve with just a rule-based system. So that's why it needed the data to train it. And that's one of the things with lots of other AI models. You can't give it every single rule, because every single rule would take an infinity to master. Generative AI applications are built to create content such as sound, images, and text, and we're going to look at some of those. There's a Google Assistant Melody, uses AI to harmonize your music in the style of a composer of your choice. So now it's up to you. We're going to give you a little task to do here. And what I want you to do is to go to this website, worksheet. Here it is. Yeah, it's called crayon.com. Okay, so if I just copy that and open it up. So you should do this as well. Okay. And we want to generate our own AI image. There's a free option for this. You don't need to sign in or anything like that. So let's see. Enter a search item, a search term, select your preferred style, and then click on draw. So I'm going to use this one, generate artwork for a film about a superhero who protects a ruined city. So I'm going to do drawing, photo. I'm going to do art, superhero protects okay, and draw. It may take a few minutes to do it. Okay, so there we go. I've got my superhero. Actually really cool, I think, some of these. Wow, yeah, very nice. Okay, so now it's up to you, your chance to do this. You can either decide to do a poster for world climate change, or the wall of a cafe or restaurant, a poster for promoting this activity. So I'm going to you can pause the video here, and you've got 5 minutes to have a go at that activity. Once you've made your activity, you need to add it to this worksheet here. So you can drop it in here, and then we're going to talk about the next part. Okay, so some questions to think about. Again, pause the video, talk to the person beside you about this. So who owns the art? Who made the art? You or the application? And what problems are there using AI to generate art for you? And maybe you can talk to your art teacher as well and what they think about that. So again, on the worksheet, discuss with the person next to you, where can you see there being a benefit to using AI to generate artwork, and what are the potential issues about doing that? Of course, this art model, this model was trained on art that was already made. So does the art belong to the people that made that art, that trained the model? Did they ask permission for them to use this data to train this model? Also, if you think about it, other artists use inspiration from past artists. For example, Vincent van Gogh, or Van Gogh, sorry. Sorry if I said that incorrectly. And then they inspire them to be artists, and then they may copy their style. So if you copy somebody's style and you made it, do you own it? Or does the person that inspired you own it? Okay, so there is, again, not a clear yes-no answer to this. In this case, you could argue that the software you used to make the AI, they own it because they're the ones that trained the model and therefore generated these images. So AI also can be used for computer vision. Computer vision is a field of AI that attempts to gain meaningful information from images. One way it does this is by identifying objects in an image. Why do you think there are percentages next to each object? So again, you can pause the video here and think about that. Why do you think there's these numbers beside each of them? And you can again look at this on here. If we go down to the activity 3 task here, click on this link. Okay, so if I click on this image, for example, here, so you see I've got different confidence levels. And you see, what do you think? Why is there different? 3. So the number 3 is it thinks it's a person. It's a person. What do you think the confidence levels means? Okay. Where can you see this technology being used, and what would it benefit from, and how? So where would this be a benefit for maybe managing how many cars are going through the city centre to control traffic lights? That could be a benefit. Of course, there is drawbacks. Do you want AI to be, as in a way, spying on you here to predict? It can predict, human beings, and maybe be used in a negative fashion. What might problems may be in automatically identify people and objects in an image? It's quite a scary thing to think that it can just identify objects in an image, and it could be used in other ways. Okay, so last thing, there is a plenary sheet, plenary part of the sheet here at the bottom. Spreadsheets that uses formulas to work out total cost of holiday. Is it AI, not AI, or could be AI? And you have to write your answer here. Online streaming service that recommends films based on users' viewing. Again, AI, not AI, or could be AI. Justify it. Customer service chatbot that tries to solve common problems that customers usually try. Okay. So again, I'm going to pause the video, answer these questions, and then I'll come back to you. Think about whether it's rule-based or data-driven. So spreadsheets that use formulas to work out the total cost of holiday. What do you think? AI or not AI? Not AI. The spreadsheet will work out the total cost of the holiday using rule-based formulas, so it doesn't need to use an AI to do that. Online streaming service that recommends films based on users' viewing habits. AI, the service will use the viewing habits to compare you to others and then make a prediction of what you would like to see next. And there are too many users online streaming service to be able to create a rule for each user. That would take a long time to make a rule for every user. Customer service chatbot that tries to solve common problems that customers usually have. I think common problems. So it doesn't say, just every problem. So it could be AI or both. So it could be AI, I thought, yeah. A chatbot that could use if-then rules. It can be specific rules. So therefore, if the chatbot is able to recognize the meaning of any sentence, then the customer and use a model. So again, it's got a limit number there. Okay, so that's the end of that. AI can be used to solve the following problems. It can be used to solve problems. It can use data-driven models to represent the real world, and models can make predictions. So right at the end, I said, we talk about what is intelligence. So the last question I want to ask you is, what is artificial intelligence? What would you change about your first description of AI? Now you've completed this lesson. Using the space provided on your worksheet, update your description and what is meant by artificial intelligence. Okay, so again, the answers to this are not just yes or no. So artificial intelligence, we talked about, it's either data driven or rule based. So therefore, it's not it can in theory adapt, but is it intelligent or artificial intelligent? Like, it's still not quite like a human. It can't, for example, the artwork, it can't come up with new ideas. It had to be trained on ideas that existed already, and therefore human beings still have that ability to make something that didn't exist before, and that's again something that separates us from machine learning models. They can only not only, but they can only predict something based on what they've been trained on already. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I will see you in the next one.